Hi, I'm Gavin Harrison, and here's the new Protean snare drum from Sonor. And we've worked for 14 months to develop this exciting new snare drum, and I'm going to show you all the features of it now. The snare drum comes in two sizes. This is the 14 by 5 1/4, and then there's another one which is 12 by 5. Now I want to show you the hybrid bearing edges that both of these drums have. On the top is a rounded bearing edge. This is like the vintage style, and in fact Sonor haven't made a rounded bearing edge since 1975. This will give you a nice woody warm tone. There's more skin in contact with the edge. On the bottom is the sharp 45 degrees bearing edge, and you know the bottom head and the top head on a snare drum do two really different jobs. The bottom head is all about passing on sensitivity and articulation of your ghost notes. The top head is a completely different story, and that's why there's hybrid bearing edges. Now, both drums are made from hand-selected premium birchwood. They are 6mm and 6 ply, so it's quite a thin shell. And they're made with Sonor's unique cross-laminated tension-free process. Now, this also features hybrid hoops, and this is the S hoop on the top here, and on the bottom is a triple flange hoop with some spaces cut out, and this means we can take advantage of the fabulous Sonor new strainer called Dual Glide, and this means it's very easy to change the snare wires, like so. Now, I designed 3 new snare wires that go with this drum, and the same 3 wires that go with the 12-inch drum. This first one is what we call straight 8. This is steel strands running straight 8 down the center of the snare wires. This gives a nice clear, crisp bite to the sound. The snares come with this box, and inside the box we have the bronze EQ snare wires. This again is 8 strand, 4, then a gap of 4, and then another 4. And this gives you a very dry, direct sound. Of course, it's so easy to, you just put it on and it's done. And the other snare wire that we came up with is the brass. This is what we call the spacer. The snares, as you can see, are spaced out. There's a wire, then a gap, then a wire, then a gap, and so on, and a double gap in the middle. And this gives you quite a warm tone. Something else that comes with this drum, and something that can take good advantage of the S hoop, are the dampening rings. Light, medium and heavy, and of course the light being the thinnest of all. Now these just slide in under the hoop, and the hoop, because of the way the S hoop is designed, that will stay under the hoop and it's impossible to fly out. You can't even shake it out. Now that will provide a very small amount of dampening. The medium, which is thicker, will of course provide more, and so on and so forth to the heavy dampening, which will give you the most muted sound of all of the 3 rings. And of course you can stack them one on top of the other, which will give you even more options. And in my view, the best way to dampen the snare drum is absolutely the same all the way round, and that's what the rings give you. They also move slightly. When you hit the drum, you'll see, if you were watching it in slow motion, you'd see that the ring jumps slightly, so it acts like a gate. And it's repeatable. So if you're playing, you've got the heavy dampening ring on, and that sounds great. And then the next song, you want a nice ringing snare, you take them all off, or you put the light one in. And then you want to go back to the heavy dampening, you've just got to slide the ring back under the hoop. Now, we didn't want to stop there, so I designed the Protean tuning key. Now, they're bright red for a reason. That's because when they're lying on the floor and there's, dark light on the stage, you can actually see them. I've always liked the idea of going finger tight. And in the old days, we would do this. Get your fingers covered in grease and rub your fingers against the thread, sort of tear your fingers up. And that's why there is this protruding part on the top of the key. That means you can go finger tight just by, turning the top part. Okay, now on the heaviest dampening ring, on the underside of that, there is some very faint numbers. And this is just, for my sake, so I do the tightening of the screws in the most logical fashion. Now, making turns that are only about a quarter to half a turn together, exactly together, I twist it like that. Then I go to number 2, twist it the same amount, about a quarter of a turn. I go to number 3, quarter turn, exactly together. Number 4, exactly together. Number 5, exactly together. Always in small amounts, eighth of a turn, quarter of a turn. And I go all around the drum. The drum is absolutely even in tension. Now both these snare drums come with a beautiful case designed by Hardcase, and when you open it up, this is the 12-inch version. Here's the drum inside. It's got the dampening rings already installed, and in the bottom of the case is the Protean snare wire box containing the other 2 snare wires, and the Protean keys are buried into the foam there. This keeps all the stuff in one box, nice and safe. Now, the drums are available in 2 formats, standard and premium. In the standard format, you get the drum, the dampening rings, the 2 keys, and the straight 8 steel snare wires. In the premium package, you get all the same stuff, plus you get the hard case and the 2 extra snare wires in the black box. When I had the chance to design this snare drum together with Sonor, it's based on my experience of what I've done in the last 30 years playing professionally. The shell material, the bearing edges, the dampening rings, the 8-strand snare wires, all those variations are something that I want to have with me all the time. So the name of the drum seemed applicable, Protean, because it's versatile and you can change a lot of the features very quickly.